Welcome, guys. This is the first episode of the OnlyTraders podcast, and this will be a variation to the other podcast that I have. Where on this podcast we strictly just discuss trading and only things that are related to day trading. Even though day trading is very connected to life, and life is very connected to day trading, so there are a lot of similarities that you're gonna find when it comes to day trading, and then when it comes to just living normal aspects of your life. And when I think about it, that's probably what I should just talk about. And as traders, you'll find that in your life, if you lack discipline, or if you're not even attempting to become disciplined within your own life, then you start to see that starts to reflect on the performance of your trading ability, your performance on the chart. So trading is something that is very difficult, very, very difficult. I would say every single day you're going against Mike Tyson and you're literally handicapped and you only have one arm and your vision's a bit blurry, but still, once you choose to get into the ring, there's no excuses to not performing to the best of your ability. So that's the connotation I'll give with day trading, is that every single day it's like you're going into the ring against the world heavyweight title fighter. The only difference is that your opponent is the same every day, but it's a different version of the same thing every day. So the charts are not going to be, you're going to be looking at the charts every day, but the charts are not going to be the same every day. Your opponent has an infinite number of moves. It's kind of like one of the Doctor Strange movies where at the end you see him and he fights some like super powerful being, and when they go through all of the possibilities of the outcome of their actions, you start to see that there's only one possible outcome where it comes out in their favor, and that's kind of like what day trading is like, where the only possibility of you coming out with a favorable outcome is for you to remain disciplined and stick to whatever plan that you've drawn up for yourself. Apart from that, your opponent most likely is going to win every single time. And at times you might get lucky, but in the long run, you might win a battle or two, but in the long run, they're going to win the war. So when it comes to day trading, that's essentially what it's like. And it requires a lot of discipline, not just on the charts, but in your life in general. The more disciplined you are in your life, the easier it's going to be to transfer that discipline onto the charts, because you've already started practicing it. It's not about what you're practicing it for, but it's just about practicing it. So if you have another endeavor that requires discipline, discipline is something that is a skill, and it's something that can be transferred. It's like energy, can be transmuted into something else. Patience can be transmuted into something else. Consistency can be transmuted into something else. So if you already have a hobby or a job or anything that just requires that certain type of skill set, then you're already at an advantage compared to most people, because most people, when they come onto the chart, they're coming with the motivation to make money and to make as much money as they can in the shortest amount of time that they can. But if you're already a person who exercises those skills in different arenas of life, then you're already coming onto this at an advantage, because essentially you're just going to have to transfer that skill onto day trading. So if you're a footballer, if you're a tennis player, you go to your practice every single day, you've already got to check that you're a person who shows up every single day. So now all you have to do is make sure you're now showing up to the charts every single day. If you put in 100% effort every single day when you go for your tennis practice, then now all you have to do is to transfer that and put it onto the charts and put 100% effort. So you see how it all goes hand in hand, that it's not really about what you're doing. what you're doing it in. It's actually about what you're actually doing. So you could be doing anything. You could be cooking, you could be a chef, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be an engineer. But if you have skills such as patience, discipline, consistency that you can transfer from those domains into this domain, then you've already got a head start on most people, and I'm sure that it's not going to take you as much time to find yourself on the charts. Because as I told you, when you look at life and you look at charts, it's all pretty much the same thing. From the fact that you have to manage your risk. In life, you have to manage your risk as well. You have to see where it's worth taking a risk and where it's not worth taking a risk, and how much risk you're going to put up for whatever you're trying to acquire. So that's just how I can correlate the two things to make it one thing. Once you start day trading, do not separate it from your life. Make it become a part of your life, because you'll see that there's so many similarities in what goes on in the charts and what you see every day when you go outside, when you're in your bed. No matter what part of life, there's so many similarities. You have to manage your risk. You have to know when to take profit. You have to know when to stick to the plan. You have to know when to get out. And I'm sure in certain situations in your life, you're going to also have to exercise those same things. You're going to have to know when to stop engaging in a bad situation and take yourself out of it. You're going to have to know when to take an opportunity, take as much as you can, and then leave and be content with what you have. You're going to have to know when to risk more or when to risk less in exchange for an opportunity or an outcome. So when it comes to day trading, it's all one and the same thing, and it's all similar, and it's all going to help you. The number one thing that I feel most traders, when they start day trading, is that they lack discipline, they lack consistency, they lack persistence. All of these things that should just be your mind state and your mind set before you even start trading. All of these things, it's going to be much harder to acquire them if you come onto the chart trying to acquire them, because on the charts you're going to lose a lot of money, and literally it's created for you to be the most irrational and the most erratic that you can be. So if you do not have all of these skill sets that I just previously subscribed to you, then I I encourage you that you find something else in your life where you can go and acquire all of these skill sets, so that you can then just transfer it into your day trading, as opposed to learning it from the charts, because learning it from the chart is very difficult, because you're going to be losing money in real time, and that's very frustrating to see that no matter what you do, you end up coming out with a loss. And sometimes you won't even be able to learn from that loss and see what you did wrong. But it's not because there's anything wrong with you, but it's because you've just chosen to acquire the discipline on the charts, which eventually you are going to have to, put your money where your mouth is and begin the psychological practices that involve trading with money. But it's always going to be much easier for you if you've already had some form of struggle or something that you've had to overcome in your personal life. It's just going to make it easier for you to overcome the charts. Because what kills most people is a weak mindset and a weak mind state. Most people come in thinking that they can hit a quick lick, get some money, get out. Come back, hit another quick lick, get some money, get out. But that's not how it goes. That's why you see when they pull up the statistics, you see that about 90 to 95% of traders lose money. But those stats don't account for the people that came in for one day, the people that came in for 1 week, the people that came in for 1 month, the people that came in for 2 months, the people that came in for 1 year. And they left because they got frustrated, because They did not have the patience, they did not have the discipline, the persistence, and the consistency to fight with the markets. Because at the end of the day, those are the most important things that you're going to need. Your psychology is going to come after that. But if you're not a fighter at heart already, if you're not a warrior, if you don't have that warrior spirit, if you have that, if you don't have that, I'm not gonna give up mentality, then you've already lost before you've even started. Because once it starts to get a little bit hard, once the water starts to get a little bit hot, you're gonna be out of there. But for you to stay, and that's a skill set that you need to require. Nobody is built like that. And that's where a lot of people fail to find understanding. They think that you're different just because you can take the punches. But it's not that you're different, but it's just that what you want, you understand that you have to give up for. So what you want, no matter how hard it's going to hit at you, you're going to stay there up until you get what you want. And so I told you, if you've overcome something in your life, if you've overcome obstacles, it's going to make it much easier for you to transmute that into your day trading. Because like that, you already somewhat have the warrior spirit within you. The spirit to overcome, the spirit to not give up, the spirit to battle. Which a lot of people do not have because they haven't been tested or tried in their lives. But if you've been tried and tested, you're already one up on everyone. You're not yet there, but I'm sure you're going to have a much easier time coming to terms with what occurs on the market, because it's literally just about that, is just being at peace with the outcome, knowing that you engaged in the process to the best of your abilities. And most people, they do not want to engage in the process to the best of their abilities. They want a process that they can buy from someone else. They want a secret formula. And there are a lot of people out there selling secret formulas, but they won't tell you that that secret formula, one, it might possibly not work. Two, you don't understand why they're doing what they do. So because you don't understand why they're doing what they do, when you actually do what they do, it's not going to make sense. And when it doesn't work, you think, oh, I got scammed. But it's not that you got scammed. It's just that if you don't understand, you don't know why. You don't have an understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. All you want is just a quick 1, 2, 3 step process. But you have to understand, why am I doing 1? Why am I doing 2? Why am I doing 3? And once you understand that, a lot of things will start to make sense to you. So when most people get into the markets, they don't want to do that. They don't want to put in the work and the time to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. As opposed to, just taking the time out, going through your strategy, going through your YouTube videos, going through your charts, doing things, and then figuring out why you're doing what you're doing. Once you have that why, it's easier to formulate and to fix whatever plan you had before, and to make it much, much more operational on the chart. Because day trading is really going to test you, and it's going to put you in deep waters. It's going to require a lot of time and a lot of effort, but anything worth having is worth the sacrifice. So with trading, man, it's just about your mindset and your mentality towards overcoming obstacles. If you struggle to overcome obstacles in your real life and you need mommy and daddy to come help you at all times, best believe that when you're on the charts, it's going to be the same exact situation. Because on the charts, it's going to treat you like you're a nobody, because to the money, you are nobody. The money does not have favorites. Money favors everyone, and money can work against everyone. It's all about the person who's holding the money and not about the money. So when you get onto the charts, you have to understand that they don't care if you're going to get help from your parents. They don't care if that was your last dollar. They don't care if you've been doing this for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. It doesn't matter to the charts. The charts just does what the charts does. And it tries to take your money from you. So you have to understand that you're battling a beast with no conscience, a beast that does not care about you, a beast that's not trying to help you but is actually trying to take from you, but a beast that is willing to give those who put in the time and the effort to work exponential rewards that come at a cost. But when you compare that cost to other jobs outside of day trading, there's a reason why a lot of people come into the markets trying to become a trader, but ultimately their lack of persistence, their mentality towards money is what ultimately destroys them and makes them leave the market, because they don't understand that for anything in life, you have to sacrifice. You have to be willing to give up something to get what you want. And most people are not willing to give up the time and the effort of trying to understand why they're trading, the way that they trade, and why the markets even exist. A lot of people not take the time to mentally dissect all parameters of the trading market, and then they expect to come and make some money. But if it was that simple, we'd all be millionaires by now. So you just have to try, and not even try, you just have to make it become a part of your life and start seeing how things in your life start to reflect on the charts. Even just from when you watch the news, you'll start to see that things that happen in the news are going to affect the charts. People's psychology is going to affect the charts. That's literally what you're watching. You're literally watching human psychology on a computer screen. So you have to understand that everything that's happening in life, all the trends, all the patterns, all of that is being reflected into data, run through algorithms, and then placed to you on your laptop or your cell phone. So the more you integrate your life and trading together, the more it's going to be easier for you to actually spot trends, spot opportunities, and hopefully get positive outcomes. Because one thing about the markets is the markets does not care even if you do things correctly, even if you trust your process and you do everything perfectly that day. You wake up, you do your morning routine, go get showered, have your cup of coffee, um, open up your charts, do your rituals, blah blah blah. See the perfect opportunity, take the trade, and still take a loss. That's what the market will do to you, and that is what life will do to you as well. Life does not care. It doesn't care about your preparation. It doesn't care about your journey. It can still fuck you over, regardless of how well you did to prepare for that day. And you have to understand that it's two correlations of the same thing. But most people try to divide it and separate their lives from their work. But you should not separate your life from your work. You should make it all one thing, because you'll start to see that what happens to you on the job is probably what happens to you when you're at home. And it's because of the person that you are. So, for you to become a better trader, you have to become a better person. And once you start trading, it will expose to you exactly what you need to do to become a better person, to become a better trader. All of it will be given to you, because trading is going to expose you. That's literally what it does. All your irrational behaviors, all this and that is going to come to the surface, I promise you, if you stick with it long enough. And you'll see that for you to overcome it, you literally have to transform and change yourself. So, that's my 2 cents and my piece of advice to you, which, to summarize it all, do not separate your work life from your personal life. They tell you you should live two separate lives. You should live two separate personalities, but one life. That's what I give to you.